Welcome to the Australian Business Executive Podcast, where we speak with Australia's most influential industry professionals on the business and economic development issues taking place across the country. You can stay up to date with all our content, including our magazines, podcasts and videos by visiting www.theabe.com.au and clicking on subscribe.
Ramzy Fenianos is Chief Development Officer, Asia Pacific at Radisson Hotel Group, based at the company's Asia Pacific head office in Singapore. He oversees all aspects of regional development and leads the Asia Pacific development team in identifying new opportunities to drive the strategic expansion of the group's hotel portfolio. With more than 15 years of experience in the real estate and hospitality sectors, he is an experienced team manager with a proven track record. Ramzy, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Jess.
So why don't we start off our conversation by having you give us an overview of the Radisson Hotel Group?
Sure. So Radisson is a global hospitality company with countries exposure over 120 countries. We currently have 1,700 hotels in operation and under development. I'm actually based in Singapore, where we have our regional office for APAC, and we also have a big office in Brussels that covers EMEA. As you know, we recently announced a big expansion plan for Asia Pacific, and I think we can talk about it a bit later in the podcast.
Very good. And there's a number of different brands underneath the Radisson umbrella, isn't there?
Correct. A number of brands, I would say only 9. When you look at the competition, we're very focused on our brands. We have 9 very distinct brands, which I think puts us aside a bit from, the competition. We're technically the second largest operator in the world by number of rooms. However, we have very focused brands, and I think that's one of the competitive advantage that we see today in the market with nine distinct brands. Yes.
So, Ramzy, do you want to just give us a brief overview of these 9 brands?
Yes, sure. So we have 9 very distinct brands. I will start with the entry luxury product, which is Radisson Collection. So Radisson Collection really sits in the entry luxury, we call it, so upper upscale luxury. Then we have Radisson Blu, which is our upper upscale brand. Radisson Blu, just as a fact, is the largest upper upscale brand in Europe for the past 10 consecutive years. So it's quite important brand in the portfolio. We have Radisson Red. Radisson Red is really our lifestyle brand, I would say. Very high energy brand that we're developing across the region. We also have Radisson Individual. So Radisson Individual is what was really created during the pandemic. It's one of our newest brands, and it's catered to individual owners who want to be part of a bigger system. So Radisson Individuals, we see this brand really growing exponentially for the coming 24 to 36 months, where owners are looking for help through international systems. Park Plaza. Park Plaza is also an upscale brand. Radisson, of course, Radisson is our core brand. So it's really a brand that still has a lot from the Nordics. Very pure brand that is also quite an important aspect in our portfolio. On the mid scale, we have Park Inn by Radisson. Park Inn by Radisson is a contemporary design brand, with a lot of colors and very very energetic as a brand, and we're seeing it really grow in some markets. Country Inn and Suites by Radisson. So it's really a homey feel. It's a product that we had grown originally in the US, and now it's really being developed across Asia. And last but not least, Prize Hotel. It sits in the low mid scale, I would say. It's a cool high design hotel brand. Very bold, also energetic, but on really the low mid scale of the segment.
So hospitality is a very competitive industry. What is it that you think Radisson is doing differently to your competitors in this space?
Very good questions. I think for us, we're really committing to delivering experiences and moments to our owners and guests. I think at the end of the day, people travel to have memories, and we want to be the one that create those memorable moments for them. So I think first is really focus on guests. We also have, during the past 2 years with the pandemic, we really spent time on fine-tuning our value proposition. And I think what's important for us is to increase the localization and create experiences through the local community. So, it's really embracing where the hotel is, either through some design aspects or through cultural aspects that we can have guests experience while they're staying with us.
Radisson is also an employer of choice. What's your philosophy when taking on and employing staff?
Yeah, so again, hospitality is really about people. I mean, it's an industry where that has suffered, unfortunately, for the past 2.5 years. However, it's a very resilient industry, and we see people grow with us. And I think the value proposition for us as a hotel operator is really the fact that you can grow. I mean, growth is part of everyone's aspiration, and we push carriers through internal promotions, through moving them around. I think the hospitality industry is really one of the few where you can be working in a country and then the next months be in another country and be developing your skills, growing up the corporate ladder, and I think that's what makes it a bit different from the others. And I keep on repeating this, but for me, the hospitality industry is really the only one where you can start down, being an assistant manager or down the chain, and work hard to become a general manager or to be part of a regional office. So I think this is something that we really push our employees for. So it's also the vision of growing. I think it's hard work, but it's also very rewarding from that perspective.
And I mean, we're here in Australia. So what are your plans, with the Radisson brand and in Australasia?
So Australasia is a very important element of our strategic plan. So, we have 4 big regions we're focusing on. We have India, we have Vietnam, Thailand, and of course, Australasia. And Australasia is one of the key strategic region where we're intending to grow. So we recently opened a business unit in Sydney where we have now development and operational expertise. We also growing the team by adding some technical person that will be really on the ground. I think for us, it's being localized, as I said before, both from a brand perspective, but also from an owner value proposition. And we're expanding. Of course, we're going to be targeting, the capital cities and some popular region destination across, Australasia and New Zealand. Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, of course, these are the big ones. But we will also grow in tertiary cities, and this would be a different business model. So I think for us, we have now different tools for different cities and different brands. So of course, the capital cities, we will look at eventually deploying leases. We're also looking at some M&A activity. 1/3 of the capital that was allocated for the plan will go to Australasia growth. So quite a significant amount of investment.
Okay, well, it sounds like there's a lot of work that's going to be happening down this way. And before we finish, is there anything else that you might like to add or inform us about that you haven't had a chance to mention?
I think, I just wanted to touch base on some sustainability efforts that we're working on. We really see that 50% of the consumers today are really focused on sustainability, and we want to be part of it. And we are committed actually to reduce our footprint by 2050. So net zero by 2050, which I think is quite an ambitious but achievable plan. So for us, really, we see that sustainability, especially with the new travelers, is a sensitive issue, and we want to be here to contribute also to that journey of sustainability. So I think that's one important fact that I wanted to touch base on.
Excellent. Well, Ramzy, I appreciate your time today.
Thank you so much, Jesse. Thank you for your time as well. Have a great day.
This has been a production of the Australian Business Executive, a division of Romulus Rising Proprietary Limited. All rights reserved. You can stay up to date with the Australian Business Executive, including our magazines, podcasts and videos, by visiting www.theabe.com.au and clicking on subscribe.